In this video, we are going to see how to install Flutter on Windows. After installing it, we'll use the anti-gravity AI code editor to develop our first app. That app is called ExpenseMate. Using this app, we can track our expenses. If needed, we can delete an expense. We can also add a new expense. When adding a new expense, we can select a category, then enter the amount, click Next and save. That's it. At the top in the spending summary, you can see how much you spent today and how much you've spent this month. In this video, without skipping a single step, we'll see how to install Flutter on Windows OS, and from that installed Flutter setup, we'll build our first app called ExpenseMate. We're going to build this app by giving a single prompt using the Google Anti-Gravity AI code editor. For this installation process, I'm going to ask ChatGPT for a step-by-step guide. The reason is on Windows there are many different BIOS systems, different assembled PCs, laptops, and many models. So during installation, each person's issues can be different. It's not 100% guaranteed that all the errors I face will be the same for you. That's why I'm using ChatGPT to clearly guide you on how to install this. First, what I tell ChatGPT is, I want to install Flutter on my Windows PC. Here I have mentioned Windows PC. If it's macOS, just type macOS there. I also say, give me a step-by-step guidance. I tell it that if I get any error while following the steps, I'll come back and share it. And it should guide me based on that. Each person will get unique errors and will paste those unique errors back into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will analyze the error and guide us on potential fixes. It should be inside my D drive, inside a development folder. Here we should not use hyphens or spaces. Folder names should only use underscores. Inside a specific folder, and that Android emulator setup steps should also be recommended. Now I tell it, okay, let's start. Then it explains system requirements, which is very important. It says Windows 10 or 11 is required, 64-bit system, and at least 8 GB RAM. It also says virtualization must be enabled. This is required to run Android devices and emulators. We won't skip this. The first step is installing the Flutter SDK. I click the link it provides. It says to install Flutter SDK from the stable channel. It comes as a zip file. I choose the custom setup path. I manually install it on Windows. It's the stable version. The zip file starts downloading. The file size is around 1.7 GB for installation and downloads. But I haven't skipped any steps, so watch carefully. The download is complete. I open it and extract it in the same folder. After extraction, I go inside, take the Flutter folder and move it to the D drive, but earlier I already mentioned. So I cut it, go to my PC's D drive, inside the development folder and paste Flutter there. We'll verify that once. Even if it gives a very elaborate response, you can complete one step at a time and keep updating ChatGPT. If you just keep reading without taking action, you won't be able to finish this in time. So my recommendation is, you don't need to read everything fully. Start working from step 1 immediately. After completing each process, even if it was already mentioned earlier, I also say continue further steps. Flutter was placed directly inside D drive. I had already clarified that Flutter must be inside the development folder. Otherwise, I just tell it that Flutter is placed inside d:\development. I ask it to continue from there. It confirms that everything is totally fine. When we check inside, all the files mentioned earlier are present. Next, it asks us to search for environment variables. I search for it in Windows. I click environment variables. Inside system properties, under user variables, we need to add a new path. I click edit, then click new on the right side. I copy the path shown and paste it there. That's it for this step. I click OK again and click OK one more time. Next it says verify Flutter is detected. We've placed Flutter correctly and added the path to environment variables. Now we need to verify detection. For that, it asks us to run a Flutter version command. I open command prompt. I paste the command and run it. It shows messages like building Flutter tool, running pub upgrade, etc. That means Flutter is detected correctly. The process continues side by side and downloads packages. ChatGPT also shows the expected result. It clearly says this is the output you should see. It also mentions that if you see an error like Flutter not recognized, then you should come back and paste that error into ChatGPT. But in my case, Flutter is detected. This process is now fully complete. It clearly says Flutter 3.38.5 stable version has been downloaded from GitHub. Now everything is ready, so I proceed to run Flutter Doctor. I type Flutter Doctor and press enter. It shows that Flutter Windows versions, Chrome, Visual Studio, connected devices, and network resources are all fine. But Android toolchain is not configured properly. It clearly explains why this happens. It says we don't need to panic and that it will guide us on how to fix it. We don't need to take any voluntary steps. We can simply rely on ChatGPT. I copy the entire output, select everything, copy it and paste it back. I don't type any custom prompt, just paste the output. That's enough. ChatGPT confirms that this is the expected output. Now we move to step 4, install Android Studio. From here, we'll be able to see Android emulators. We can test the app on Windows first and then finally release it and install it on an Android phone. I click the provided link, accept all the terms and proceed. The file size is around 1.7 1.3 gigabytes. I download it and then ask for further steps. The download is complete. I double click it and run it. I delete the 2 unnecessary folders. I click next. Android Studio and virtual device are selected. I proceed with installation. The total size is around 4.1 gigabytes. I install it in the default location. Installation completes successfully. It mentions the next steps as well. After installation, we can proceed further. It asks whether to send usage statistics. This is based on personal preference. I choose don't send. I click next. It shows installation details. I click next again and accept all terms. I click next again. Each package downloads separately. Some packages are 1.9 gigabytes, some are 400 plus megabytes. It installs everything automatically. We don't need to take any action here. Let everything download fully. Now the welcome screen appears. It says to wait until Android Studio fully opens. The welcome screen is visible. I tell ChatGPT that Android Studio is installed and the welcome screen is visible. It says we are on the right track. It asks to click more actions. From there, we need to verify Android SDK components. It asks us to open SDK Manager. From more actions, I click more actions and open SDK Manager. It shows Android versions. ChatGPT mentions Android 13 or 14, but Android 16 is available now. The reason is that LLM models are trained on data from a few years ago, not today's latest data. So if it mentions an older version, don't worry about it. Always install the latest recommended version. Here Android 16 is available, so we install that. Under SDK tools, Android Emulator, SDK platform tools and SDK build tools are already selected. But Android SDK command line tools are not selected. I select that, I click apply and OK. It shows around 136 megabytes to download. The download completes. Now our basic setup is done. Step 6 is accepting Android licenses. I run the command Flutter Doctor Android licenses. From C drive, I accept all licenses. By typing Y for everything, it shows all SDK package licenses accepted. This is the final confirmation message. This appears correctly because we installed all SDK packages properly. Now everything is complete. I run Flutter Doctor again. Previously Android toolchain had an issue. Now that Android Studio is installed and licenses are accepted, the issue is resolved. Android toolchain is detected. It says no issues found. If any pop-up asks for permission, just allow it. I copy the output again and paste it back. It confirms that everything is green now. Next is step 8, running the emulator. I go to Android Studio, click more actions and open Virtual Device Manager. It suggests creating Pixel 5 or 6. Again, these are older devices. A device is already available. Medium phone API 36.1. Android 16 is already installed. If you want, you can still add one. Pixel 9 is the latest now. Installing a new device will require another download. Since I already have a device, I ask ChatGPT what to do. It confirms this is fine. It tells us to simply click play. Once the device becomes active, when we run Flutter devices, this device should be detected. If it's detected, everything is correct. I click next and proceed. But an error appears, saying service start failed with an error code. I copy that unique error number and paste it into ChatGPT. Even if it looks scary, it says this is a very common Windows issue and explains the fix in detail. Even though this may look very technical, I am not explaining everything in detail. If you just follow what ChatGPT says, that is enough. Our end goal is simple. Flutter should run correctly on our system and after that we should create an app. That's it. Now it says that the emulator is not starting, so it asks us to follow this step. And here there is an option called Turn Windows Features On or Off. I open that. Whatever options it asks to enable, I enable all of them. It says to enable hypervisor platform, virtual machine platform and Hyper-V. I enable everything. One option here cannot be selected properly, but that's okay. We can proceed. After processing for some time, Windows says it has completed the requested changes. Now we must restart the system. After restarting, I'll continue. Okay, now I've restarted my PC. The next step says verify virtualization is enabled. I go to Task Manager, Performance, CPU and check whether virtualization is enabled or not. Here it shows virtualization is disabled. Now instead of reading any further steps, I directly tell ChatGPT that virtualization is disabled. ChatGPT responds saying, perfect, this explains everything. It says that in phase 1 of enabling virtualization, we need to enable it from the BIOS. That means when restarting, we should press keys like delete F2, F10 or escape multiple times to enter the BIOS. We can just press the delete key. Next it says we need to go into the features section and enable either Intel virtualization technology or SVM mode. If it's an AMD processor, it will be SVM mode. If it's Intel, it will be Intel virtualization technology. Here ChatGPT is just predicting the names. It says the setting might be named like this. Now what we can do is shut down the Windows PC again, repeatedly press the delete key and I'll show how the BIOS looks on my system. On my PC, I have a gigabyte BIOS. Because of that, I wasn't sure exactly where the settings were. I searched multiple times, so I tell ChatGPT that it is a gigabyte BIOS. It then says once you reach the gigabyte BIOS screen, switch to advanced mode. After that, it says you will see options like this. And yes, it matches exactly. Then it tells us to find the virtualization settings, which might be located here. I go there and enable it exactly as instructed. Then I press F10 and choose yes to save and exit. Now the system restarts. I go go back to Task Manager, Performance, CPU, and now virtualization is enabled. So we have successfully completed that step. I inform ChatGPT that virtualization is now enabled. Now what we can do next is first run Flutter devices and then try Flutter run in the command prompt. Since virtualization has just been enabled, we stop here and try running this step first before asking ChatGPT for further steps. Now the Android device is running successfully. Earlier it wasn't running. This is the first time it is running now. You can see it has opened. The first time it will take some time, so be patient. On the right side you can see all the settings available on the Android device. Just experiment with them. Now I run Flutter devices. Here an extra device called SDK GPhone 64 appears. Earlier only Windows, Chrome and Edge were showing. Now that a GPhone appears, it means the emulator has been detected. Now I try Flutter run. It says that this is not a proper YAML file. So what we can do is first create a fresh default Flutter app and then assign it to this device. Right now we don't even have an app. We have only checked the devices list. First let's create an app and then proceed further. Now I'm running Flutter from the C drive under my user folder. So this issue might be happening. So I copy all 3 lines and give them to ChatGPT. The same output from there is what I am explaining here. ChatGPT says everything is correct and that this is a simple expected error. The first thing we should do is go into the D drive and create the first app. So I go into the D drive. Inside development, Flutter is present. I tell the command prompt that my first app does not exist inside the development folder in D drive. It then tells me how to start the process from there. It says we should first go into the correct directory. Since I am currently in the C drive, I tell ChatGPT that I am unable to move to D drive. I am recording this video from a beginner's perspective. That's why I am not skipping any step and explaining everything clearly. Now it says we should switch to the D drive. By typing D:, the drive switches. Now we are inside the development folder. If we type dir, we can see the list of folders. Right now only one folder named Flutter is listed. So we are in the correct location. Now we give Flutter create my _first _ app. While it is installing, you can see that a folder has already been created. When we open it, we see a proper folder structure: Android, iOS, macOS, web, Linux, Windows. All are available. That means it is installing correctly. Now installation is complete. I say that the process is finished and that I can now see Flutter properly. It now asks us to go back into the my _first _ app folder and check whether the file is available, because earlier it said the file was missing. Now that we have created the first app, the file is available. I run Flutter run again. Flutter is now running. It is taking all the required steps to install and run the app. Now the APK has been built. On the left side, the app has opened. The initial Flutter run process takes a lot of time. Don't worry about that. Next time, it will run much faster. This is the default Flutter app. Since it has appeared, we can confirm that the installation process was done correctly. That's why in my first video, once you saw this app, 50% of your work was already done. The remaining 50% is developing another app. This app doesn't do anything special. If you click the plus icon at the bottom right corner, the count increases. That's all. This is just a basic default app provided for demonstration. Now I run it again and as expected, it runs faster. Now everything is set up successfully. Now we can build our first app. To build this app, I'm going to use Google AI code editor called Anti-Gravity. That code editor is also not installed on this PC yet. So we will install that and immediately start app development. I type Google Anti-Gravity download and click the first link, antigravity.google. This is the correct link. I download the Windows 64-bit version. I run it, accept everything and click next. That's enough. Once installed, we can close it. Now it shows welcome to Anti-Gravity. I click start first. If you want to customize anything basic in the editor, you can do that. I leave everything at default recommended settings. I click next and then sign in using my Gmail account. Once signed in, I open it. Now Anti-Gravity is open. I click open project folder and select the my _first_ app folder inside the D drive that we created earlier. We need to give trust. Done. Now we can enlarge the window. This area on the right is where we give prompts. Using the master prompt we give here, the entire app will be built. Here under models, we have Gemini 3 Pro, Claude Sonnet, Opus and also ChatGPT models. My current personal favorite is Opus 4.5. I have built many web apps, mobile apps and websites. Among all models, Opus 4.5 is the most comfortable and effective for me. So I choose that. Also, this is an expensive model, but Anti-Gravity provides it with a free limit, so we can use it effectively. Next, I type, I want a master prompt for creating a simple Android Flutter app. The motive of this video is to show how to install Flutter and run Android, not to build a complicated app. So in this video, we are not building any complex app. I asked ChatGPT to suggest a good app idea with a good design. And from that idea, I'll request a master prompt. It suggests daily focus, habit tracker, notes app, personal expense tracker, quote of the day, to-do list, weather app, meditation app. All of these are very general apps. Usually, I don't develop such apps in my videos because these are very easy to create and anyone can build them. Thousands of such apps are released every day. But since the purpose of this video is different, I choose one app from this list to get a master prompt. The expense tracker looks reasonably good, so I select that and ask for a master prompt. It says just copy and paste this. I don't read everything in detail, I just understand it generally. I copy everything and paste it into anti-gravity, then click next. I check whether the model is Cloud Opus. You can choose whichever model works best for you. Now it generates a task list. First, it understands the project structure and provides an implementation plan. It hasn't written code yet. First, it defines the task list and plan. I review whether everything looks correct. Everything looks effective. Since this is just a simple app, I don't spend much time reviewing. I tell it to add mock data as well. The reason we add mock data is so that we can immediately test the design and functionality without manually entering data. Now it proceeds to the next step. All tasks in the list are accepted. Flutter automatically runs analysis in the command prompt to check for errors. It detects 15 issues and it fixes them automatically. We don't need to do anything. Then it asks to run Flutter analysis again and I accept. The issues reduce from 15 to 9. Since this is a dummy local app, I choose always proceed. But in a production ready app, you should never do this. You must carefully review code, comments and prompts before proceeding. Now all errors are fixed and it says no issues found. Everything is done. It gives a walkthrough and asks us to run the app. I go to the command prompt, switch to the D drive and go into the development folder. You can either just type Flutter run or specify a particular device. I copy and run Flutter run. Now the app is built on that specific device. Earlier we saw a default app where clicking the plus button increased a count. Now a complete ExpenseMate app has been built. At the top there is a spending summary showing today's spending and this month's spending. In the recent expenses list, all values are mock data as we already instructed earlier. Now we can add expenses manually. I select others, type Netflix and save it. Now Netflix appears under others and today's and month's values are updated. So all calculations are working perfectly. Now the app is built, we can further refine it. For example, if we want the UI to change based on system appearance, dock or light mode, we can give a prompt for that. I give a simple prompt, add dock mode based on system appearance. It updates that as well. Now I go to settings and search for dock mode. Under display and touch, I enable dock theme. Now the app UI changes automatically. When I open ExpenseMate again, it is fully in dock mode. Text is white, which looks effective. I add a food expense, it works correctly. Everything is perfect now. My first app also appears in the app list. From here we can further refine the app icon, app name or anything else just by giving more prompts. As many people requested, in this video we installed Flutter fresh on a Windows PC, installed Android Studio, ran an Android emulator, installed Google Anti-Gravity, chose models, got a master prompt and built our first simple app. This entire end-to-end process has been covered in this video. I hope this has cleared many doubts. If you have any further questions, put them in the comment section of this video. At the same time, I have also added my WhatsApp community invite link in the video description. You can use that community effectively to ask questions, request apps or connect with like-minded people. I hope you understood this entire process. If you like this process, please like the video. Don't forget to subscribe because on this channel, we'll be building simple apps, complex apps, websites and web apps. Thank you.